That's how it goes. You just don't have your shit ready, and now it's ready. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the KotoKai Workbench on the KotoKai Network. Here at KKNW. No, I'm just kidding. My name's Brian. It says there, over there. Sorry. Here it says right here. And then this guy over there, Paul. And we also have with us this evening Jeff. I think he's back.
I am back.
He's back. He is back again. There it is. Oh, it says okay. We got Mike and Julio out there. What's up, Michael Valdez? How you doing out there on the other side of the planet? And Julio, just across the water, out in Brooklyn. What
up, Jules?
Jules Winifred.
So,
yeah. What do you
it's kind of topical for me that Jeff is 3D printing. I've been out for the last 2 weeks. Like I was traveling and then had some home issues, but I listened to the 3D printing episode of the podcast 2 days ago while I was at work.
Right.
Kyle trying to explain what I forget what the acronym was, and then he's like, for those that don't know what that means is, and then he didn't know what the acronym meant. It's one of the funniest things ever on that podcast.
Kyle's hilarious.
He is
hilarious. Yeah, he's naturally just a funny guy. He's good.
He is.
William's exhausted. He worked his ass off all day. He's on his feet. I've seen it. What's up, Ty Furious? How you doing? As you can see, Jeff has replaced his entire body with a CNC.
FTM. Thank you, Chris. Yes. FTM. I forget what he said it was. He's like, FTM, for those that don't know, is filament something or another, and that was wrong.
Filament fused deposition delusion.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Like, only Kyle would do that. It's the best.
Filament
material.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Chris got it. It's good. It's all right. Hey, he knows he knew more about it than I do, and he knows way more about it than I do. What's up, Chris Collins?
Oh yeah, Chris, I got to get on that. I loved the previous Castlevania series.
I watched the first one, right?
Season,
and then I never got into it after that.
Really?
I bounced off it after. It was like a while though. I waited until they had 3 out. I think 3 seasons or whatever.
3 seasons, yeah. To me, that's probably the best game adaptation. I did not watch Cyberpunk though, and I heard that was really good. I just didn't watch it.
Right.
Although I don't know if Cyberpunk has like the same.
That Chris.
I just watched the first episode. Makes people feel the same way as like Castlevania is kind of a nostalgic thing. Cyberpunk like had just come out not even a year before, and then they made an anime of it. So
yeah, it's a push.
Yeah, Castlevania.
Right.
I loved the first season, but to each their own.
Yeah, Julio says Edge Runners is good, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Manny.
Hello. Manny.
How's it going? Well, I'm tired too. How about that? But that's okay. That's all right. That's part of life.
Yeah.
I've been working on shit. You've been working on shit, Paul?
I have. Actually, I got to do a little masking tonight. Just finishing up the weapons for the Hyakushiki. Everything is pretty much base coated, other than 1 or 2 little details I got to mask off.
Nice.
So let me ask you guys. Obviously, you've both painted even more than I have. when you're looking for two of the same color, like you're looking for two grays, right? How long does it take you to pick out two?
Forever.
I feel like that does take me forever. Like I can pick out, if you told me we're gonna paint the whatever you're painting, white and blue, that doesn't take me nearly as long. But the minute you say it's gonna be two different shades of blue, it takes me an hour of just staring at paint before I can figure out what color.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, some people are color blind. I'm value blind.
Value blind? You don't know worth of $1?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Of the
But
yeah. Dad jokes for days, kids. No kids.
Yeah, so I wanted to paint. I knew the darker shade of gray was a shade I wanted to use from the mobile suit just to give it some harmony, but I wanted to bring in another shade just so it wasn't all one color. So I have, I don't know, maybe 10 grays, let's say, in front of me, and I went through each one being lighter than the original gray, and thought I had picked one out, and then was like, maybe this dark one is a little too dark.
I see what your problem is, Paul.
Yes.
You have too many grays.
Yeah,
that may be a problem. That may be a problem.
Yeah, what's your quantity of paint like?
It makes it tough too when they're like the names of them are like, dark gray 3, dark gray 4, medium gray 1. I'm like,
Oh.
Then I'll forget. Like if I move them around too much, I'm like, which one did I like again?
Oh yeah,
you gotta start over, baby.
Yeah. And I make sure that while I'm painting, I separate them so that if for whatever reason I need to touch up later, I'm not looking through that whole shelf like, oh fuck, what color was that again?
Yeah, I know, of course. That's why I did all those color swatches back in the day when I had the the stadium full of ammo colors. I had all of them on color swatches so I could kind of like piece them out.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore per se. I do spoon tests for different things like saturation and shit, and I don't have as many colors, but I see what Jeff was saying too, how you maybe have too many. My question is, gray can go so many ways. Like you can have, because I did the stripes on the Porsche, the racing stripes, which now the front of it's masked off, so it looks like a superhero. But the racing stripes on the Porsche, it almost looks kind of purple, but it's dark gold gray, and it has just
it's a cool tone of gray though. Like
yeah,
it could be a warm tone of gray. It could be very neutral. It could be really saturated. Like gray's a tough one.
Yeah, right. Because you go blues, you can go green grays. They can be red gray, or whatever, brown grays. Yeah, like
gray and red. Red is another color I have a hard time like putting two next to each other and
I have a lot of reds too. Really, I look up here and just for the Mission acrylics, I have 7 reds that verge towards brown. It's a fair amount of reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the same problem. I got a million reds. I actually have a finisher red set sitting in Ogdensburg, New York, waiting for me to go pick it up on Sunday. Because I can't get finishers through customs into Canada anymore. I don't know why.
Oh, what the fuck, man? Seriously?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Twice they were turned back at the border.
Well, they do have like weird marking on them, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was a pain to get them kind of around a little bit. I know that Zach at Galactic carries them. That's my nightly plug for Galactic Toys. And they had them at Gundam Planet, of all places, believe it or not. They get them through in batches through Danny Gumpla. Does like a lot of Dan Moore does a lot of like legwork getting that in there. Julio's calling the cops. What's Julio calling the cops?
He's a knock.
You're knocking me. Well, you can call the cops where you are all you want. It won't affect me in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, for the customs. That's why I was calling the cops.
Yeah. Well, it used to be that Tamiya enamels were barred in Canada. And you could get them, if you order them on eBay stuff and just through the regular mail, they'd usually get through. But they started appearing in the hobby shops, I don't know, a year ago, so they're back.
We had a hard time with those a while back too. I remember having a hard time getting Tamiya enamels for a while.
I don't see a lot of enamels around. I was surprised
No.
when I got some by accident the other day. It says lacquer on the bottle. The brand of the paint, Brian.
I have like a handful of the Tamiya stuff, just like really basic, just a couple of colors for. They're good for like if you're just trying to do, like let's say you want like the tiniest little red detail, like a button or something. They work out really well.
Julio's gonna call Dudley Do Right. The Royal Canadian Mounties.
Jesus.
You know, he once got kicked out on purpose because he ate his peas with a knife. What's that? Sorry. I have a good memory for dumb things. But yeah, I'm working on the Porsche.
Yeah. Stripes look good.
Oh yeah, stripes are good. You can't really see because it blows it up and I bring it way back. Masking, did the masking on the
duck bill,
on the tail, yeah, and then that chrome in there,
or the
that
whale
silver
tail.
chrome, yeah, the silver chrome in there that is where the taillights go.
Mm-hmm.
That also got done within the whole masking thing. It looks pretty good. The masking all worked out pretty well. Color's all pretty good. You can see up there that line is pretty crisp on the underside, even though it's super vague. I was lamenting with Julian from Australia about he's also building one of these for fun. No, he's actually building for a contest. We were lamenting some of the different things about it. It's good to have a buddy building the model that you built to, or at the same time, or whatever, something you can have your woes and be like, oh, that fucking panel line is such a bitch. That car has so many seams, mold seams. Like, oh, I bitched about it before. I'm gonna bitch about it again. Oh, hey, Alicia, what's up? Doku's in the chat. We got. Okay. Mounties are busy hunting assassins from India.
Yeah, that's the big hullabaloo here in Canada right now. Is there was a guy from the Sikh religion in India, and he's probably a terrorist, but who knows? But he emigrated out of India because they were going to get him, and he became a citizen in Canada. And then just recently, India sent a pack of assassins into Canada to kill him.
Holy shit!
Canada's kind of pissed.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Not your typical everyday goings on.
Yeah, relations aren't great right now.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow. But that's what I'm working on. I got this thing going down by the end of the day Saturday. I'm gonna have this thing finished. I have to have this thing finished for the build off. So
yeah. What do you got left?
I have, as you can see, I masked the window trim on the windshield. I just have the side windows trim. I have the side skirts trim, headlights trim, back window trim. It's all trim, basically. I just have to do the trim. Yeah, and then I have like put the headlights in and the wipers and the handles. Basically, I have this one. I haven't even pulled them off the sprue yet. I have this one sprue here of the 3 wipers and the 2 door handles. And then I have this other sprue that has just the 2 chrome light backers. And that's it, man. Ain't a lot of shit. It's mostly done. Everything's pretty and it's all bagged up, or the underside of the fucking car. So I don't have to worry about it.
Sweet.
Yeah, you missed it. You saw photos because you're in the chat and the various chat groups. But
no, actually, you had that like the last stream that I was on.
Fantastic.
You would just finished it, I think, like that day. It looks great. Good color.
Yeah, that came out really nice. I agree.
Very nice. Very nice.
The next build off that's coming up is a work truck build off, and I was looking around at a few different things, or work pickup. So I grabbed this old '78 Dodge MPC. Well, it's not old, but it's like a newer boxing, but it's kind of an older kit. Basic ass truck. got the little monkey motorcycle, right? I think I've showed this off before. I was really stoked on that for a little bit, but then I was talking with the guys in the build-up group about it. And they got me looking on the internet again, and I found this other truck, which is the GMC with the friggin' snowplow on the front. And I used to drive a truck with a snowplow very similar to this, plowing snow for like 3 years in my early 20s. So there's like a layer of nostalgia with this too. So I'm gonna do this one instead of the other one, which is pretty sweet. It is missing a couple things, like there's no chain on the between the plow blade and the arm that raises it and all that shit. But that's fine. That's stuff I can add.
I've got an idea for a snowplow diorama.
Oh yeah.
Ages ago. So we've been in this house since 2001. But before that, we lived with my wife's dad in a condo, and I rented an extra spot. And every winter for like 5 years, the freaking snowplow guy would knock off my side mirror. So there you go. You have a diorama with the snowplow knocking off the guy's side mirror.
It's not a big snowplow truck. It's just a regular, like a regular.
No, that's what the condo parking was plowed with, just a pickup with a blade on the front.
How would you knock a mirror off unless you'd have to do it on purpose.
Make them feel bad about it.
I never knew if it was the same guy driving every year, but they paid for the replacement every year.
Yeah, well, of course they would.
It's a pain in the ears, you know.
Yeah, for real. This does look like it is like I can't tell. I got to look at some of the detail. I am a stickler for detail engines now, an engine base. So I may have to order some parts from Iceman. Like get the master cylinder for the brakes and get an alternator and a starter, and they got a battery in here. And I don't know about this. It seems weird. This engine seems weird. I could always replace the engine. Let's just get a new one. It says it's a 350 cubic inch V8 engine. Okay, it's pretty vague.
And what was it was a Dodge?
GMC.
GMC. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's a small block Chevy.
Yeah. So I can swap it out with
a big block Chevy.
Hey, what's up, Jay?
Corvette engine.
Maybe actually
at that time, in the mid 70s, right? What was it? 75?
70. Does it say?
It would have been a Corvette engine would have been a 350.
It doesn't say what year it is per se. The model was boxed up in 2017, but it's labeled at 2017. But the truck itself doesn't have a
year on it.
Actual designation. I think that's not that one. The other one was the GM. Was the Dodge, the 78 Dodge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Oh, wait. Who's this? Aha! This guy's here. What's up?
Mr. Z.
Hey.
Zach.
Or as we say in Canada, Mr. Zed.
He's a Gunpla-maniac.
Was that the Canada or the water?
That was the Canada, definitely.
Oh, what's that fancy chromey Metal Gear Solid box you have there?
Ooh. The shiniest.
Yep. Is that the new boxing? The second boxing of it?
It's the
Because I have
black
one.
version.
I think it's kind of red. It's the black version. Cool. I have the gray version then. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Very sweet.
Yep.
Oh, John Lynn made a Gundam joke. She said, "Hi, Zach."
Real original.
Gotcha. Yeah. Works.
You guys checking out all these announcements? Crazy.
Actually, I was just telling when Brian said you were going to be on. I was like, man, I was just looking at his page because he posted some announcements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you got? I ain't hear shit.
Oh, what do I got? I'm expected to report on it.
Well, I don't know about it. You don't have to.
Well,
You don't have to.
the big news is the MG narrative Burkha.
Oh yes, I did see that in your Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Which
But
is a
that
great
was
Discord.
that was leaked. Actually, there was a list leaked of announcements. Did you guys see that?
Nope.
I ain't see shit. Like
That
I
I
said, I
didn't
worked
know.
all day.
Yeah, no, this was like a week ago or a week and a half ago.
Ah.
It's like,
Yes,
not
I
today.
worked straight through.
Yeah, it didn't stop working for the past week and a half.
It's amazing that I'm still awake.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was on the list. I mean, the leaked image, it was like a photo of like an Excel file. So like,
Right.
and it was in Japanese, and it looked like pretty legit. And so it's turning out to be that it was legit. Yeah.
Shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was
Jay
the main
says-
thing.
PG Hygog?
Definitely not.
Mega size. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that.
An Ari
Unfortunately.
Hygog would be more than enough.
All air. Yeah, true.
Someone
Yeah.
post that on Insta. Thought
Yeah,
was a joke.
it was going around. I didn't repost it just kind of out of respect for Bandai and didn't know if it was legit, but we saw it and it certainly seemed that way. It's like usually there's like some signs you can tell like when it's a fake one. I mean, like it's usually like number one, a bad Photoshop job.
Yeah.
And like
Gotcha.
or it's just something like completely like out of nowhere, like a PG Hygog or something.
And then we know it's John Lynn.
But this one, no, like that was the main thing. There was some other stuff on there. It's mostly like HG Seed stuff because the new movie's coming out.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah.
What
It
else
seemed-
was in narrative? I'm trying. I can't remember.
Hmm.
Like I watched narrative, but for the life of me, I can't remember much of it
Oh,
other
the
than
Stein.
the narrative. The Stein was in
is
narrative.
in the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Stein is all up in that bees.
Oof.
The white museum.
I was thinking like, a lot of times we get it like an RE100 of the Xeon or whatever version of, whatever they're calling themselves in that particular time frame.
Mm.
Yeah.
You mean like to counterpart the MG?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, those days seem to be gone.
Long gone.
Yeah, would be
Yeah.
nice.
Or I guess is it even RE anymore, or is it full mechanics?
Well, my kind of prediction is that we may see another RE kit in the future because RE and full mechanics are basically like two sides of the same coin.
Yep.
RE is for UC and full mechanics for alternate universe.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, the past few, like RE seems dead just because the past few have been alternate universe seed suits, so they've all been full mechanics. But now that like those three main suits are done with the Forbidden Gundam now,
Yep.
I think that they might go back to something from UC now for the next one. It might be RE. So
Oh, that's right. The Phoenix was in narrative. The one with the tails.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Braids.
Yeah.
and the Messer, was it? No.
No, the Messer's in Hathaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn. Now that I think about it, for like such a short, it was just a single movie. We've gotten 3 master grades out of it now at this point.
We got shots
'Cause
fired.
You got they make it a the narrative. Julio said the narrative is doo doo. We got the Phoenix with the tails, right? They made that in master grade, or was it just they made a version of it for sure?
I feel like maybe it was
And-
P Bandai.
And we got the Stein.
Mhm,
It's a great kit.
mhm.
Basically had like a Stein and a half in there.
I'm
And
looking
now
at
this,
the
yeah.
pictures of the narrative you posted, Zach, and
Hmm.
I didn't know it had like a unicorn mode, kind of destroy mode look.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the pictures that closely. It's that's the A packs and the C packs. The C packs is the one that has like all the psycho frame showing. So without like reading the text, and because it's like just announced, nobody's like done any like reporting on it yet, really kind of in depth that I've seen.
I actually
But,
don't mind with the version that doesn't have all the cycle frame exposed. It looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
I only watched narrative once and didn't really like it. So there you go.
Paul, looks like it was the RG Fenix narrative version.
Oh, okay. I know they made one with the stupid braids. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah,
But-
super
well-
shiny with the
There's a HG and a PG, so that's why I was thinking like
Could have been one of those.
Is
Yeah.
there an MG?
PG is the PG isn't the same though, is it? It's the unicorn, isn't it? Or
Oh, they made a PG Fenix too.
yeah.
oh yeah, but that's and that's narrative.
Listen, there's not a unicorn that Gundam didn't make in every version possible.
I shouldn't be surprised.
They for sure hoard that kid out and got every dollar worth of that frame.
With
There
the
it
exception
is.
of the mega size, interestingly enough.
Yeah, they just made
Unfortunately.
just the original one.
Yeah.
On and that's.
I'm still
Can you
hoping
imagine-
and dreaming for a
Can you imagine
mega
mega
size
size?
Banshee.
Really?
Huh?
Banshee? Well, I mean, Banshee's okay, but I'm like mega size Fenix with these
Oh,
big
no.
ass weird shields and.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
No,
man.
I don't want that.
I can see Banshee though. No, Banshee's pretty tight. I do like
Yeah.
the Banshee. That's a fun.
Speaking of mega size Banshee, someday I'll get back to my custom that's going to be a mega size Banshee.
Yeah. Someday I'll start mine.
Oh, mine's pretty much there. I just got to figure out how to do. I'm doing it in unicorn mode, right?
Yeah.
Got to figure out the feet.
See, like I'm thinking in my mind, it's not going to be like the most complicated job because you basically just need to like cut out all the cycle frame and just like glue it all back together, like without being expanded. But I'm sure it's more difficult than that.
Oh, Andy was doing that too, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't
Yeah.
do the feet.
Yeah.
The chest was challenging because it's just a big solid block of cycle frame, right? So it's challenging to find the route to cut through that works out good. Legs were easy. Well, thinking about it some more. Lower legs are easy. The upper legs were a little challenging too. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the shoulder armor was like.
I'm just gonna douse the thing with glue. Cut out everything and just glue it. It only needs to be one color, so might as well. Especially in unicorn mode. I mean, you don't need any part separation.
No, not really.
True, you don't. But you could pick some grays. We already were talking about that. Grays.
Grays. When you're matching like similar colors, right? Like let's say you're gonna do tones, like tones of gray in particular. Do you have a hard time, or how long does it take you to pick out, let's say, 2 or 3 grays that are gonna go well together, give you enough separation? But it's really challenging for me. Grays and reds, for whatever reason, just take me a really long time of going through jars of paint and looking at the cap and figuring out what I like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I usually like have a pretty good idea in mind, and like because like usually just kind of based on the main color scheme of the suit, I know that the grays I'm going to either want like warm or cool tone ones, right? So like that's like 50% of the issue right there, and then so once I decide like the color, like the temperature that I want, then it's just a matter of like how dark you want to go.
Right.
And like if you want any other kind of colors in the mix, like if I want to go with like an RLM gray or something with a little bit more green in it or something, for example, just kind of if you want a bit more color, or like tan, something like that. But usually it's not too bad. But I'm not like, I don't usually get like too hung up on the grays, as it's usually more like the frame, like kind of a background color anyway. So as long as it kind of goes with the main color scheme.
That's what
main
these are
armor colors.
for weapons. So it's like I picked out the one gray is used elsewhere in the suit just to give it like some, didn't just come out of
Commonality.
nowhere. Yeah, like it looks like it belongs. So I wanted to pick out a second gray. Like it looks like it belongs. So I wanted to pick out a second gray just so everything wasn't one shade of gray. And I don't know, it just took me like an hour of going through. No, that's too light. No, that's too close. No, the darker gray is a little bit on the bluish side. It's like a Germany gray. And I was like, oh, that one's too warm.
Put yourself a growl violet, baby. It's on the other spectrum.
Just I don't know. Like I said, grays and reds. Those are the two that I have a hard time with. That I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm a little colorblind. Who knows?
When it comes to like the weapons, kind of in more recent years, I usually like to use grays that I didn't use on the suit. So like I don't. It just seems like it. Like in my mind, it makes more sense. Like realistically, that the whatever gray color, like the frame of the suit or the armor, whatever is on the suit, that same color paint wouldn't be used like on the weapon. That the weapon's like just manufactured separately or something like that.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
I'm sure there's an occasion where I would just opt to go for the same color, but I usually try to use a different gray for that.
This was it's on the Hyako Shiki, so the only gray really on the whole suit is like right along the torso. And so it was. So I was like, I don't want to go too. Well, I have a gray on the frame, but it does not match that gray. Anyway, like I said, just in general, grays and reds. Like reds are probably even a little harder. I'll go through like 10 different shades before I can pick out two that match. And the last time I did it like that, they were too close. Like at the end, I was like, man, I should have went with something a little further away from each other.
I think it will be a difficult color. Yeah, I don't know if I have ever used like multi-tone red. It's usually like one is all I ever need for any project, it seems like. I'm trying to think. I think like the last one would have been like the HG Shars DJ.
That's what it was. It was a Shar color scheme that I went with.
Yeah.
It was like
where usually like in like Shars color scheme, it's meant to not be like that close, right?
Yeah.
The
one of them's more like that pinky salmon-y color usually.
Yeah. So you don't need to try to get them like how close is too close without being too different kind of thing.
Right.
You usually have some good leeway with that. So long as they're not like too weirdly different in tone. Yeah. What I really want to do is try some nice like peach colors. That's like a
color you don't see a lot.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I think like the very few times I've seen it, it's been like an accent color to like a gray or something.
Peach and teal and lavender go like 1990s Lego Miami. That was meant to be not approved. So that was a bad choice on purpose. That was meant to be bad.
Do it.
I mean, I can see the peach and teal. I actually have a design, a colorway that I have coming up that I'm going to be working on that has peach in it. But it is not a dominant. Well, it is kind of a dominant color. But I'm not stealing your thunder, sir. I agree with you. It is an underused and can be very valuable. Interesting.
Well, even in like paint colors, I mean, like I probably like if I was thinking like, okay, if I'm going to the paint store and like what brand am I going to look for to find a peach like straight out of the bottle without having to mix it, I think probably would have to go to like Gaia Notes Virtual On paint.
Sure.
Will probably be like the only one that has a color close like that.
If you say Gaia Notes 2 more times, Pabs appears.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just tell you that.
Or resin. If you say resin news 3 times in a row.
I don't know about that. It'd be nice to get some resin news.
He appears with a purple cloud of smoke.
He's been doing it's Pabs purple.
Pabs purple, yeah.
Sounds like a snake.
Like
oil. Pabs purple cloud of smoke.
Really nice Prince intro for Pabs.
He comes in a little red Corvette in his raspberry beret. Those are both Prince songs for those who don't get the joke. Damn it.
Flamingo decals on the Miami Peach build. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's just reminding me of Miami Ice now. Is that like a chain
Miami
that they
Vice?
have outside of Kansas City? I have no idea.
Oh man.
I've not seen one here. We have, what is that called? Miami Subs. And
No idea about that.
That's got like a white, teal, and pink.
Mm.
Those are common.
No, there was a. I mean, any of you? Do you guys know what Miami Ice is? Anybody else? Other than
I
me?
don't have a fucking clue, buddy.
Oh, okay. It's
Enlighten me.
Shave Ice, like
Oh,
shop, like in Kansas City. There,
okay, cool. So it's
I
like
think
it's
it's a chain as far as I know.
Gotcha.
But it's got like the soft serve ice cream at the bottom.
Oh,
It's really good.
that's different. It's definitely different.
Miami Ice, Kansas City, Missouri.
You.
Check back. Oh, Miguel, what's up? How's the Hakushiki, Paul? Or the Hyakushiki, says Miguel. He didn't miswrite it. I just mispronounced it.
Good, man. Just wrapping up the weapons, and we're done here. Move on to something else.
Oh yeah, right now it's Lies of Tabs. He's been playing the game Lies of P.
Oh,
So it's Lies of Tabs, which I'm fine with. It's cool. I have been playing some Starfield. I cannot deny it. Not a lot, but I'm playing a little.
I've not done any of those things.
That's okay. You don't have to do those things. The beauty of things, you don't have to do them.
I wish. I'd like the time to do it, though. Whether I actually do it or not, I'm not sure, but
There you go.
John Lynn tried Armored Core 6.
Oh, nice. What'd you think of AC6? I haven't gotten there yet because I know that I'm going to go way deep into that game.
It's wrapping up after 4 years. Yes, Miguel.
That's true. That was clean versus weather.
It was. Yeah. It sat there. It's been sitting here for the last 2 years.
Slowly weathering.
So, yeah, it was clean when I started.
Workbench weather. Just got a bunch of dust on it.
Naturally weathered.
Yes.
Speaking of contests, we'll have the
You
next
got one?
one maybe next week, I guess. It's basically ready.
Awesome.
Nice. That's good.
Yes.
I think I've seen chatter on it, but I haven't participating because there's so many other people in the Discord that are much more on the pulse of the scene for the things. I tried to get the one that we wanted with I wanted to do my gold sumo, but well,
Gold sumo.
it will wait for another day.
I think I still have that twin pack that
you
Alex sent me like
guessed the sushi
years ago.
Paul guessed the number sushis and got the awesome set from Alex. Because Alex is freaking amazing and super generous.
That HG set, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank God he sent that before shipping went
through
off the rails, huh?
Yeah, I got to mail packages out to Jonathan and to Chris Meddings, respectively, in the UK, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was
That
had to have been like 5 or 6 years ago now, huh?
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
I think that was one of the times he went to Japan and he ate all-you-can-eat sushi. He live streamed it or something, and he's like, "How many plates do you think I could eat?"
Yeah.
Paul got it right.
Our warehouse manager at one of the managers there at work, is going to Japan soon for 3 weeks. I'm very jealous.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Hoping next year, finally, we'll be able to return.
I watched a couple of days ago. I got into these videos on YouTube of what are they called? The abandoned houses, Akira.
Yeah.
And like this guy buying them in really rural parts of Japan and then spending a year rebuilding them. It was just really cool craftsmanship. But I was talking to my wife. I was like, "Come on, let's just do it." Like,
Yep.
It's like a $10,000 house. Fuck this place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean,
no, it's completely unrealistic. But
you can hear all of the apprehension in Zach's voice.
No.
Completely unrealistic. But
Like,
I'm just gonna say it's just very not fun being like just out in the boonies. I mean,
yeah,
you're gonna spend, probably another $10,000 or well, I have no idea, a lot of money anyway on just like having to have a car and driving like really far anytime you want to go anywhere, like to go to the store or something.
Like as I get older, the appeal to it certainly grows. Like not having to deal with people.
You live in Florida, like down in the heart of that shit for so long, bro. Like,
but at the same time, I feel the same way. Like you romanticize it in your head, but then after being out there for 3 or 4 months, I'd probably be like, all right, what do I do? Like, how many books can you read in the quiet?
Yeah, and how many times would you be able to stand like your elderly, like meeting the same Japanese elderly neighbors, like in your little village, and having them tell you every time when you say hello, and they answer, "Wow, you can speak Japanese really well, huh?"
Yeah, that wouldn't probably be fun.
Trust me.
Oh, you speak from experience.
The microaggressions are real, and they will get to you. But I mean, I'm a pretty lax person, so like not that much in my case, but I know like it does get to a lot of people, and completely understandable why.
Yeah, the one I was watching seemed relatively interesting because he was like an hour outside of Tokyo by train. I was like, that probably wouldn't be so bad. Like, you wake up, like if you feel like going into the city, you wake up a little early one day and an hour's train ride isn't horrible. Like that's a lot of people's commute to work.
Is that like an hour outside of like
the
Tokyo
edge of
Station?
Tokyo, or
I
believe that's what they said is Tokyo Station.
Okay. Yeah.
Or like the very edge of Tokyo.
Well, right, because if you're talking about if you're an hour from like the city center, that means like you're like right at the edge of Tokyo. Like, you're basically still in the city for the most part. But like an hour from the edge, that's like an hour to get like actually into the city, and then another hour to actually get into like downtown, any kind of like popular area.
Oh, here we go. Miguel asked, Miguel asked what you're working on, Zach.
Oh, it's the black version of the Metal Gear Rex. I'm actually putting it together because I want to live build it, so I'm just getting all the nubs and everything. Yeah, just prepping it for right now. It's nothing too exciting. And it's all black, as you may imagine, so it's not really much to see.
John Lynn says she's surprised to find out that Japan is pretty nice to travel if you have celiacs, more so than Europe.
If you have what?
Celiacs?
Celiac? Yeah, gluten intolerance.
The thing is,
I heard that.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, you're gonna say. No, you can say. You're gonna say. I'm not gonna forget mine.
The thing that I hear often from people that's difficult in traveling in Japan is if they're vegan, because there's like meat used in so much, or if not like actual meat, it's just meat broth used in like a lot of like soup and stuff like that, of course. And noodles, so it's hard to avoid.
Yeah, I could see that being tough. Like I think vegetarian, probably not so hard at all, but vegan is a tough one there. Yeah,
because veg floats a lot of different ways, eggs and cheese and shit.
Right.
I was gonna say that I heard that Cuba is actually really good for people that have celiac as well because there's only like they only have like 3 or 4 ingredients in every dish, and it's all pretty basic. So you can it's not going to be like, oh yeah, there was like some flour in a thing that we don't really know about, or we're not like going to tell you about. Where it's like, yeah, okay, so you can't have anything on this menu because everything has like a flour based roux in it, like for a sauce. That'll fuck up for somebody with celiac. So can't do that.
I would think
No
like
biscuits and gravy.
any society that's not so based with like bread as we are, like
Oh yeah,
because I don't think rice has no gluten in it, right? So I mean, you think all those Asian countries where bread is not like a staple of their diet, like it is here,
right?
Dude, but going to Japan and missing out on the bread there would be sad.
Criminal.
Sad state. They got some good bread there.
Cuban food is really nothing to write home about unless you get off resorts. So my wife is Cuban, and I've had quite a lot of Cuban food, but I've never been to Cuba, and I have no interest in going there. So I couldn't tell you, there. But
you can't go there as a tourist, but you can go there for like a reason. Like you can get a visa to go like as an activist or community outreach or whatever. You can't go you can't go on a tourism visa because that's just because America's pissed at them for being communist.
I've never been, but Canadians have been vacationing in Cuba forever.
It's like for me, there's not much difference between Cuba and Miami. Like you're talking like 60 miles, so it's
yeah, it's real close.
It's the same water.
Right. And it's only like
it's like Havana.
I believe it's like a 3-hour direct flight from Newark to just down to Cuba. If you wanted to go, pretty fast. It's like half the amount of time it takes to get to LA. If you were going to go that way.
Come through Union City. I don't think people go to Cuba for the food.
No, this person that was talking was just like, it was convenient because their wife had celiac disease or whatever, and it was easy for them to eat.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing they eat with bread is sandwiches, which I mean, but like a lot of times they have same thing. They have a lot of rice in their diet. So
yeah, and it's like what's your meal? It's just like this is just beef.
They have like rice sandwiches.
white rice, black beans.
The bread sandwich.
They have rice burgers in Korea. I'm sure they probably have them in Japan too. I'm not sure, but at least in Korea they do.
Like that, the bun is made out of rice.
Yeah,
everything's made out of rice. I saw a picture of some fried chicken that was dressed up like some rice that was dressed up like a fried chicken.
Wouldn't doubt it.
It's basically just rice.
I mean, that's honestly not as bad as some of the pizza that I've seen.
Pizza what?
From Korea, like the sweet potato pizza and stuff.
Dude, are you about to hate on South Korean pizza right now?
It doesn't look great. I'm going to tell you that.
It is great, and you're wrong.
Is it? Alex told us it was horrible.
What? He must have been yanking your chain. He eats it all the damn time.
He said he missed American pizza. And,
please.
And Korean was certainly not as good.
That's just because he's obsessed with smoking meats.
That is true, actually.
He's gonna fit right in Canada.
Yep,
that's true.
Asian pizza is the best. Listen,
it is.
I'm just saying it doesn't look good with the chunks of sweet potato. I'll just say that. I'd be open to try it, but
on my first trip to Japan, I had duck pizza there. It was so good.
But
Like
it
the
was
topping was duck,
ridiculous.
or
Yeah,
or like
it's like sliced.
No, it was made by ducks.
Yeah, it
it
was in the shape of a duck instead of a circle.
Gotcha. Perfect.
It's like ratatouille, but with ducks.
It was in like not like flat, so it was more like a calzone, like a
Ah,
like three-dimensional shape.
Or like a stromboli.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong. You can
Do
go
you
wrong
guys
with
know
sweet
what
potato.
pierogies are?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
My wife is Polish, half Polish. Anyway.
Well, that's it. When I went to Poland, it was a long time ago now, 2018. I had duck pierogies, and they were great. They were awesome.
We just
Duck
have
meat's
potato
good.
ones because we're Polish.
Who were we just talking to? Oh, my neighbor. My neighbor and my neighbor's wife. I was talking about having duck, 'cause like I was saying, it's like one of my favorite Korean foods. And she was like, "Oh, I don't want to have that. I don't want to have that. It's weird." He's so good.
I don't,
Why is
I
it
don't get
weird?
like the thing with duck, especially because like you'll eat chicken, you'll eat turkey,
Mm-hmm.
Like-
well, I mean, yeah, like
same family of things, you know.
like I don't know about. She's Brazilian. I don't. Apparently, they must not eat it in Brazil. But like even in America, it's not like commonly eaten. Growing up in the Midwest, I never had duck.
Yeah, no.
like
I had pheasant more than I ever had fucking duck. That was just 'cause we hunted.
Man, crispy duck pad thai.
I've never had that, but I'm sure it's good. Sounds good. Yeah, it is good. Sweet potato pizza, though, especially, is really, really good. You have.
Oh
to
yeah,
try
I had for dinner tonight. I had some of my leftover homemade taco pizza. Is a Midwest
Taco
staple.
pizza.
Yeah, it's a pizza that's also a taco.
Almost made
like-
tacos for dinner today, but opted for some risotto instead.
Oh, that was very good.
Taco pizza.
Taco
as long as it
pizza.
doesn't have like lettuce on it, I think I
It
probably
does have
does.
lettuce on it.
It
It
does
does.
actually
I
have lettuce
don't know
on it,
if
yeah.
I don't know if I'm in
But you
for
don't
that.
have to have it. But you don't have to have it. So the lettuce goes on after the fact.
Okay.
Basically,
So it's,
Yeah,
it's a topping. All right.
yeah. So the way I do it, I just make my own, right? So first I
Mm.
make my own dough. Wife did the sauce, fantastic. I used like meatloaf mix for my ground instead of just like beef or pork or whatever to get like the full flavors. Season that just like taco meat, like you were making regular ass tacos. So dough sauce, taco meat, and then I put on like super duper thin cut onions, green peppers, and tomatoes, like deli thin sliced kind, and like chop them up a little bit, rough chop. Spread that all around. Cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese. Bake that like a normal ass pizza. When it's ready, comes out. On top of that, you crush up like Doritos on top of the cheese, and then put sour cream on top of that, and then put lettuce on top of that, and then put taco sauce on top of the lettuce.
Brian,
Interesting.
stop. You missed one of the most important steps. I cannot
What?
believe you're even talking about
I put black olives in
taco
it.
pizza
What?
without talking about the refried beans
No,
instead
see, I
of
didn't do
pizza
beans.
sauce.
Colleen did beans. I didn't do the refried beans. I do pizza sauce. So that's the way we used to do it at the pizza
Oh,
house
what is
in
that? It's like
Iowa,
an
where I worked.
Italian fusion taco pizza then.
Yeah. She did beans. She literally did like put black beans on it and
Yeah, dude.
still the red sauce.
That's the original. That's the Happy Joe's recipe. You know Happy Joe's?
Oh, I know Happy Joe's. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, refried beans instead of pizza sauce on it.
When you would go to Happy Joe's when you were a little kid, when I was a little kid, anyways, you would walk away with like a balloon that was the size of you, with like a clown balloon with little feet. That was-
So we had our Happy Joe's. Well, it was like the Davenport one.
okay. Quad Cities.
It had. I mean, like I'm sure it was not as big as I remember it, because of course I was a little kid at the time, so it seemed that big. But it was like a 3-level, like huge, like the play place in there. It was gigantic, and so like that's what it was known for. And so like everybody had their birthday parties there all the time, like in elementary school.
Nice.
It was like the birthday party spot, because that play
Sounds like a
place was
blast.
awesome.
Sounds like a blast.
It was, yeah.
I remember thinking that too about spatial awareness changes after living in the city for so long. Took Colleen back to Iowa a while back. We went to my college town, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go drive around my college town. I'll show you a bunch of different places." I drove through Ames, Iowa. I drove through that college town like that. It was like blink, and it was through, and I was like, oh my god, why did I ever think that this place was big? What is wrong with me?
Oh,
Living in Manhattan and Brooklyn for a decade or more. That'll do it.
Ames,
Yeah,
Iowa. So you went to Gabe's?
Wait, why does that sound familiar?
Gabe's, the music venue. It's like live shows there all the time.
Yeah, I would. That
Wasn't
would be
it?
why it sounds familiar. I was more like going to the Boheme, if that was still around, too, like techno shows, and
I'm not sure if I know that one.
that was. And there was what was right next to it? Poor Richards. No,
Nope.
that's a different one. What else am I thinking? What am I thinking of? What had the 75-cent gin and tonics? Yeah,
No
what's that
idea. I
place
was not
called?
drinking gin and tonics at that time, so
Oh, I was. Oh, was I ever?
I mean, I don't drink gin and tonic, but for 75 cents, I might think about it.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So we would rock like
Oh, I
rock
love
like
gin tonic now. Yeah.
$5 or $6. Yeah, like $5 or $6 in gin and tonics, and then go drink a gigantic vodka Red Bull, and then and then rock some like techno jungle vibes and dance for several hours.
Mm.
Those are the days, rave days.
Hey, what's that 3D print file, by the way? Is that
Jeff, you want to give your show and tell yet, buddy? Chris, we talked a little bit about the announcements. Yes, you missed it.
Yeah, sure. Give me a sec here.
Sure, take your time.
because I might have a 3D printer on the way, possibly.
Oh, I just got one, but it's way too small to do any of the stuff that Jeff is doing.
Okay.
Jeff is gonna get the whole show. Boom. Here, we'll give him the presentation style so we can be on the side like
Ooh.
oh, not me, Jeff.
There you go. So this is what, update number 3?
Yeah.
What scale is that? Oh,
1/6.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah, okay. Jeez.
So what's new from last time? Everything has primer on it now except the VFin.
Mhm.
But the surface still isn't good enough for paint. I got to do some more work on it.
From all the way over here in New Jersey, it looks smooth as heck. We're looking at it in Canada from New Jersey.
From 18 inches away, no. I said last time I was going to reprint this eye part, which you can't actually see. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I just it was red primer last time. I just threw on some regular primer. Take that off. The parts that melted in the sun. Remember these guys? Those have been reprinted.
Oh yeah, those look nice. They had slumped on you, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, so I have two 6-foot tables set up on my garage because there's no room in here inside the building to work on this thing, especially with sanding dust. And
what are you using, like a big electric sander on it?
On parts, yeah.
Orbital sander.
Yeah, it is. It's an orbital sander. It's 3-inch. So on some of the larger spots, like on here, you can get in there.
Yeah,
but you really can't use the orbital sander on all these details.
Right.
So it's all hand sanding.
3 inches?
Yeah.
That's teeny. Believe it or not, that is actually 3 inches in my hand. That's so tiny.
Yeah, well, I know.
I mean, I would say it's like average. I mean,
hey, I was waiting for it. That's what she said.
But the back part there, it still needs a lot of work. It's still covered in putty and crap. But I mean, it's looking a lot better than it did before, where it was like half of it was all putty. A quarter of it was like had some primer, but it was just misted on, and the rest of it just was black PLA. So at least it's a little cohesive now. I kind of got to a point where like these cheek pieces are all one part, right?
Mhm.
And there's so many nooks and crannies and stuff. I spent a whole weekend sanding one of them, and at the end, it was like my eyeballs were like vibrating back and forth. I couldn't really see details anymore, and I knew it wasn't perfect, but I just said, you know what, screw it, primer.
Time to throw on an old classic film and just veg out.
Mm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Give your eyes a break.
What else is new from last time? Last time the base was new, and Paul, you weren't here, but the head was just like all wobbly and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
Um,
showed it a couple of weeks ago, it was still, you had the base, or maybe not all of the base, but it was not attached really.
Yeah, it still isn't, but give me a sec here. I'll walk around my desk.
Or maybe
But-
you were 3D printing a hinge or something at the time.
That was the base
That was the old base.
when you
Yeah.
saw
Okay.
it, Paul.
Okay.
And what I did was I went. It basically disappeared underneath the head, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
man. So I went into CAD and cut up the model, so I'd have this nice bit of the neck. Out of the box, that neck was probably 18 inches wider, like just this part here,
Mhm.
18 inch wider, and then psycho frame, and then the sides of the shoulder armor.
Oh, jeez.
It was nuts.
That's a lot of model.
So the goal is to do the whole body and everything.
Oh God, no. The
Just
goal
the
is to do
bust?
what you see here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it'd be really cool to do the whole model. There's really there's now three things that are strikes against it. One is the thousands of dollars in filament I'd have to buy to do it,
Mhm.
Right.
because it would be 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
The second thing is I don't have a place to put something 12 feet tall.
Right.
And the third is I'm really not enjoying the sanding step.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So when this,
You get a team.
what's that?
You need to get a team of sanders to work for you. A group of elves.
Drop
You're
it
up
off
at
at
the
a
North
body
Pole.
shop.
Oh.
Some sanding Oompa Loompas.
Potentially.
Organize like a local build day meetup and just get everybody to just help. Just give one part to each person. Just sand all day long. Sanding party.
But the boys aren't into it.
Yeah, I don't think that would fly. That would be like herding cats.
I know occasionally you can get him to sit still and have him holding something for a photo, but I don't know about all that sanding. It takes a certain kind of crazy to really enjoy the sanding process.
What, like the weight of that at 12 feet would be insane.
Insane. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
You'd have
talking
to-
about.
You'd have to make
Pouring
some kind of
concrete.
steel tubular frame inside of it.
Pour concrete, footings, stick it up. I could see it. I could probably weld it up for you. I'm sure you could probably weld it up too if you wanted to.
It's out of the question. I still want to scale up Rocky's models,
It's out of the
do
question.
another model, but I'm not going to do 1/6.
That's
I
fine.
might do 135, and then do the whole suit. That'd be cool.
That could be cool, and you could
Yeah.
do it with a tank or something, or that'd be kind of fucking tight.
Yeah, I'll just
Or the
fire up the resin printers again and do that.
Or
yeah, I
maybe-
mean, shit, I could do that.
Picking something smaller than the unicorn, like the Victory, or like something kind of tiny.
Oh,
The
so
F91.
so it only ends up being 5 feet tall instead of 12 feet tall?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it only costs $900 in filament instead of $3,000 in filament.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
There's always that.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, but I think like taking I'm thinking about his Easy 8 model. It looks really great. And doing that in 135 would be cool. So it would be about the same size as the big Zaku, right? Which you probably haven't seen, Zach.
Mm-mm.
But
Oh,
it's kind of
I've seen like images of like the kit itself, other people working on it, but I haven't seen yours. No.
yeah. It's not finished, of course. I have all the parts and I have assembled it, but
It's a funky design, eh?
yeah, I mean, I still like it, but I don't like it as much as when I started. That's Lootbox, right? And he's got a style that is cool, but it's kind of not growing on
Wasn't
me.
that also
Mm.
themed after a different mecha designer's drawings as well?
Surely, but it was his. It's Lootbox's interpretation of that line art,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of that.
So
Yeah, because it's just a scribbly line art. It's not even a
yeah, so
full
is as
on
much
wraparound.
his aesthetic as the original artist,
True,
Mm.
yeah,
and
yeah,
his
yeah.
his other models, obviously trend even more towards his aesthetic. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with his aesthetic. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and like since I did all the printing and stuff for this Zaku, Rocky Q came out and did his Patreon, and his models are amazing. That's what this head is. It's Rocky Q's unicorn model.
Mhm.
Just a sec. Let me grab something.
Unacceptable. Just kidding.
1/6 scale. That's
Yeah,
enough.
psycho. It's absolutely insane.
Okay. So this is pretty dusty, but there's the mega size Banshee I was working on. And I've got a tub full of all the other parts in the other room. But yeah.
So did you start yours after Andy was doing his, or were you doing it first?
I think we were doing it around the same time.
Yeah, I think they just organically figured it out on together or like separately together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's what I wanted to do as well, using the Banshee head for it. So, but yeah, I've not yet started.
Yeah, and so the armor ridge around the head is different from the unicorn and the Banshee, so you got to figure that out too.
Or you just make it the Verka and say it's not different. That's the trick. And just say it's the Verka. And just make the thighs longer, and bingo.
I don't know. I'm a pathetic perfectionist. I want it to be perfect, but I never actually achieve it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it would be interesting. So like the Banshee is like, what is it, like neck collar piece?
Yeah.
Even if you like basically like cut all the connection under that, it doesn't just like fit onto there. Like the shape where it needs to fit like is different.
Yeah. So like everybody was using the 148 HG stand to make that. That's what the head is up there. You're right. The collar piece, because it's truncated at the front, so it doesn't go far enough down. It's kind of a bastardized version of the collar piece. What I'll probably do when I get back to this is, because I've been doing all this CAD stuff with the unicorn, I've been chopping up parts to print them out the way I want, so that they come out cleaner in certain angles. What I could probably do is design something I could print for the collar. And I'll probably do some of the same for the feet in unicorn mode. But I haven't given it a lot of thought yet. And when I was doing this around the time Andy was, I didn't know how to use CAD at all. Like I'd never used it before. So the possibilities are wider now, I guess. The options. So about that print that I'm doing, we'll just use that to end it off. This is a test print of how I want to. Actually, the VFin's not on the big model right now, but it's split up for ease of painting in a way that like the original model didn't have, and I did that, and I decided that I wanted to do a little more cutting it up. So if I switch over to this is one of the arms of the V-fin, right? And in order to get a good print, right? Because this, I don't know if you can see it. This is the side that faces out, right? So on a unicorn, this would be gold, right? And so you want to do as little putting and sanding as you can on that part. So you print it. I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, you print it so that's down on the bed. So you get the smoothest. This would be the bed of the printer. So you get the smoothest result. But, and it's also hard to see, but, there's this nice detail here where it's, sunk in. It's like a panel line. Something I found with sanding the big head is sanding in these panel lines is a kind of a pain in the arse. So what I've done is, this is the original model for one of the wings, and I've split it so that this flat panel is off. So when you're sanding around here, you got no problem. And then when you want to sand the actual piece itself, it's got little registration pins, so you can glue it on later, and it's all good to go. Problem with that is, now when I want to print it flat, it's not that easy there. When I print it flat like that, now I've got this gap under here, and you're gonna have supports, or it will just fall. You can't print in the middle of thin air, right? The supports that the slicers make, I mean, they'll work perfectly well, but they leave a crappy surface behind under here. Which means more sanding and all that stuff. But what I saw was Prusa, the company that makes my printer, like there's a lot of printed parts in there. And so you can download the STLs for those parts and print them out yourself. And what they've done is in CAD, they've pre-supported the STLs. So it's like figure models you can get from someone's Patreon that are pre-supported. You just put it in your resin printer and go. So I decided that I wanted to, play around with pre-supporting this in CAD, so I can just print it flat and it'll be great. And the print that's running right now, oh, you know what? Yeah, I've been pointing at the model and you can't even see it.
I thought you were talking about the little drawing like next to it, and I was like, man, I don't know which part he's talking about.
I was visualizing it.
Quick review. V-fin arm, prints flat, has detail that's pane to sand. I split it like that, so I can sand the part itself and where it lands separately.
Sure.
Problem comes now that because I've cut the part out, I have a step and I can't print it flat anymore. So like resin figure models that you can purchase that are pre-supported, I want to pre-support this so I can just print it. And what's printing right now here is a test of something that I've done. And that's this.
And the idea is that you can hog that out.
Yeah, it's actually, there's a gap here, right?
Oh, okay.
So the gap is small enough that it will support the part above it, but it's far enough away that when the print's finished, I should be able to just pull that piece off clean.
Crack it off. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. In theory, interesting.
In theory, I will know in 24 minutes when my test print is done. 23 minutes.
What up, Z? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I have to show today.
Okay. It's quite the show. Thank you for sharing.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put a call out to people in the chat or anyone here. If I were to do the EZ8 at 135, so I'd have to scale it up from 1/100. And I'm wondering if anybody knows of a command line program on a not PC only, but because I'm on a Mac, but I can like run the command line and say scale this STL to 135, and then script it so I can just throw at a whole directory of STLs and just have them all pop out at 135. Because I spent days scaling that head, and it's only, I mean, it's less than 30 parts. I spent days scaling that thing to 1/6.
No idea.
Sounds like a blast. I don't know shit about that, also.
Yeah. I'm grasping at straws. I've been Googling. I haven't been able to find anything good.
My wife is crawling around on the floor playing with the cat. This is hilarious. Hi, Z.
What up? What up?
Hello.
I could not disappoint my arch nemesis, Miguel, so I had to hop on. And my other arch nemesis, Dr. Aurelius here.
What?
What up? I was watching this, and just watching that printer run and Jeff talk, I was like, I gotta make some coffee and just sit here, and this could go on for hours.
Sure.
Well, there's only 23 minutes left in the print, so we get real boring real fast.
But how are you guys doing? It's been a minute.
Yeah, man.
A bit, yeah. Since you've been on the Workbench live stream, Z.
I don't even know what a workbench is anymore, you know, except for, you see my drill bit over there. The last good bit of working with my hands or doing anything creative was me polishing my headlights yesterday. So,
Hey, man.
That's what they call it now, eh? Polishing your headlights.
With a drill.
with the drill.
Oof.
It's one of Miguel's custom tools, right? The Miguel Unions.
Oh, man, I forgot all about that.
Oh,
Wow. That's feels like that was a lifetime ago.
Right?
What the heck?
I think
My ties with Z and Guy, whatever happened to that?
one day it'll be back when
Oh, man.
you know
When?
But
Yeah,
yeah. when I can make some room to build something. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. But I'm happy.
As you can see, Z, it is less Weird Al.
Yes, I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah.
My sister's
Paul
pissed
is,
that I got the curly hair. It's like,
I mean,
I,
like that
have
too.
I have to put products in my hair to get it. Damn.
You know? Paul, are you going back to the Jesus look too?
No, man, I'm just too lazy to go get a haircut.
Gumply Jesus. Gumply Jesus.
Paul's like one of those old Play-Doh hairdress things where you just like something just happens.
push
and you just
down
push
on
a
it
button
and it-
down, and his hair just goes.
That's right.
And he comes through and he just goes and he cuts it all back. 3 days later,
Yep.
it's like Wolverine. Where it took me a year to grow this.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about it anymore. I'm convinced that there's a buddy of mine, former coworker. He cursed me every day. He would literally be like, "Dude, your hair. I love your hair. It's so amazing." And now I'm going bald. And I was like,
Oh no.
mother flipper. It's like that. I wonder if he got like a button off my jacket or something like that. Drag me to hell, you know. Put a little curse on my hair.
Yeah.
Put a curse on your lapel.
Yeah, right. That's what it was, right? She stuck a little button or something on her.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. It's one of, yeah, that's
You've
not
never
my
seen,
jazz.
You've never seen Drag Me
No.
to Hell? It's like a Sam Raimi.
No. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I'll do a Sam Raimi
His last one.
Spider-Man, but I don't know about a Sam Raimi horror.
Oh, he started with horror, right? Back. I mean, Evil Dead. That's him and stuff. So
Yeah, it's true. The OG is pretty good. It takes place in Milwaukee too, doesn't it?
does it really?
At the mall, I think so.
The original Evil Dead?
Oh no, the not
Like the
Evil
second
Dead.
one. Yeah, Army of
thinking-
Darkness.
I'm not thinking of Army. I'm not thinking of Evil Dead. I'm thinking of
You're thinking of
Night
that-
of the Living Dead. I'm thinking of
The
no,
Living-
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead. That's what I'm thinking of. Evil Dead. That's Ash and that shit. Oh, dude, that is so. The second movie is actually. So what they say they made the first one, but the second movie is actually the way the first movie was supposed to be.
Really?
But they couldn't. Yeah, but they couldn't do it because of studio restrictions. They thought it wasn't going to be good or wasn't going to be popular. But the first one, even though it was so weird and hokey and kind of disjointed, then they made the second one, which is supposed to be what the first one is, and then the Army of Darkness, which coincidentally enough was the first one that I ever saw.
Which ended up being my favorite, actually. Like, because it was just
Same
so fun,
here.
right?
It's hilarious and campy and fun. Oh, it's just such a romp.
Totally.
Yeah.
Funny story about the first one, man. Like the first one, when I saw it when I was out, I would say I was like 8 or 9. And there's that one scene in that first one where the girl is running away from the cabin, and then the trees start to do their thing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we were kids, our parents and our family would be like, "You can't watch this, right? This is rated R, whatever." So all of us would cover our eyes. And my aunt, for whatever reason, God bless her, would, at that exact moment when we covered our eyes, became vocal and started describing everything that was happening.
Oh my god! You're doing that. Oh wow! Yeah, I hear you.
Like after the movie, we're just like, "What the fuck were we watching? What were you talking about?" But it was hilarious, and now I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that was traumatizing. I mean, just a scene in itself.
Mission accomplished.
And I think that was her goal. So she's like, "I'm gonna fuck with these kids."
Yeah. Julio says the new ones are wild.
Oh,
These kids they're not coming home with me. Who cares?
Let their parents deal with it.
All right. I need to get some plastic.
Are there new Evil Dead movies? Oh, there's a new one, right? Yeah, it just came out a while ago.
I feel like there was one like 2 years ago.
There was that like Las Vegas one, right?
Huh.
That
Wasn't it? The one that takes place in Vegas?
Evil Dead Rise.
Is that what it is? I feel like that just came out this year.
It was 2023. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Let me see. I don't remember if it's in Vegas or not.
That must be new one. Like the one that's in Vegas had to have been like at least like 2 or 3 years ago. I feel like because I want to say I watched it on a flight.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Julio's saying there's another one before Rise. So I guess that's the one you're talking about, Zach.
Yeah. Must be.
I'll have to.
I think it's Army of the Dead. Maybe is what Michael's saying.
Oh,
I think that might be right.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check those out. But first, I got to catch up on Ahsoka.
I'm waiting to watch it because I've still not seen Clone Wars at all ever. So I feel like I need to watch that first.
Me neither.
You do. Totally.
Yeah.
But
How long is that though?
It's like 7 seasons.
7
Yeah,
seasons?
it's like
And-
it's like 100 and some episodes.
Yeah, and a
So
7 hour.
many.
No, yeah, and a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, and then you have to watch the Bad Batch if you want to be any solid fucking person.
Yeah.
Bad Batch is the shit.
That's
The
probably
problem
not gonna
is
happen,
that
then.
I'm in the
I-
I'm in the middle of rewatching Endor first. So I want
Nice.
to.
Such a good
wanna-
series.
Yeah.
I have
haven't
not
watched
watched that either.
I
What?
haven't watched it yet. Like I'm waiting because I know I have to really get into it. So I'm like, I've been waiting to find some time to really just go. I'm gonna be a day alone and then binge through it.
No, yeah, it is like I'm like sitting down and like actually watching it, not like having it on like while I'm doing something kind of
Right.
thing. I'm like actually watching it like 1 or 2 episodes at a time.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is like you almost can't do anything when it's on because it's just so good.
It is really, really good.
I just got really turned off by like Boba Fett and
No,
like,
it's
it
nothing
was
like that.
okay.
Yeah.
I was disappointed
Oh.
in Kenobi or whatever the hell they would call that.
Mm.
Like,
Oh, I didn't
I
watch
thought
that
was
one
gonna
either.
be good.
Yeah.
So after that, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm done.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Boba
way
Fett's
different.
okay. Kenobi was meh. Yeah, it really was like just meh.
I guess I just had high expectations for
I did
Kenobi
too.
because Ewan McGregor was coming back.
Yeah.
And remember they started making those like fan-made trailers for that one, and it looked like really depressing, like he's just in the in the desert, like and life sucks. And that's what I thought it was gonna be. And then it was, typical Disney corny Star Wars, and I was like, oh, this is what I wanted.
Wait,
Yeah,
Julio, who won't watch what? No, like Clone Wars, yeah, you don't necessarily have to watch. I guess, yeah, but Rebels you do have to watch Ahsoka. Like Clone Wars, you can kind of skip over.
I'm
Clone
not
Wars
watching.
is 133 episodes.
That's not gonna happen.
It's not
No,
that
but
bad.
they're good though. They're good.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm
I've
not-
seen a bunch of
Not,
them.
I'm not doing
I've
it.
watched a bunch of seasons. Fine. No,
Same here.
it is what you could say.
That's what
Rebels
everyone's
is good
always
too.
like when they
There's
talk
some
about
cool
anime. They're like,
Lego
oh,
kits that came out of Rebels.
I
Out of
love
Rebels, yeah.
Naruto or I love One Piece. I'm like, I'm not watching
I ain't watching any of
Thousands
that shit.
episodes
I gotta
of fucking
watch
anything.
700 episodes of Bleach. Get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
Hey,
You're
so that's
crazy.
literally what I did, Brian. When I first discovered Bleach, it was already done, right? And
Yeah.
that's literally what I found some website it was on, and I would just sit and watch like the 15 minutes of the actual cartoon and 10 minutes of recap and what a 5-minute
Oh,
title
man.
opening, right?
It's worse than Dragon Ball Z.
And then now that the new one is on, I finally caught up on the second season of the newest season of Bleach. And man, I'm just kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's good, but at the same time, like, is it the same story, just different characters? Because now all of a sudden, like, what's his name? The guy with the glasses is a bad guy, and then the 3 guys getting zoomed up again, and Ichigo is still yelling at him. And I'm like, wait, didn't we see this with Aizen and Tosin and all these guys?
I have
They
never
have
watched
condensed
this.
movies of Clone Wars, apparently. I would probably do that then.
I don't think they have multiple. I think there's just one Clone War movie, and then it goes into the series, or is after the series.
That's like how I feel about like original Gundam. Like I watched it once, I'll never watch that shit again. I would never recommend someone to watch
I think I own it.
40 something episodes. Like watch the movies if you really are interested in it.
Oh, that's what I do. I own the movies. Is what it is. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen the movies. I have seen the Seed movies, and I gotta say, like, people have their different opinions about Gundam Seed, but like, I watched the whole series, and then I watched the movies, and the movies were pretty shit in comparison. It's like, you just don't get the full experience.
I don't hate the series. Like,
I don't
Was
fuck
it
with Seed.
great. They're tough because they're 50 episodes. Like, I feel like if they were 25 or 24, it would be a lot more palatable. Like,
Old pattern 50 episode seasons.
yeah, that 50 is a lot, man.
You know, I guess I'm lucky having never seen any Gundam except for IBO.
Oh,
I'm just like, yeah, IBO was cool, right? It was fun. But everything else to me, it's like, I feel like I would just never get into it because it seems dated.
I think I've watched IBO like 9 or 10 times in its entirety, all of it, both seasons. Yeah.
the tough part with just about all of them, maybe except IBO, is that they tend to take about 10 to 12 episodes to really get going, and that's a lot. Like, I mean, that's a whole normal anime season before anything really starts happening.
Eighth the Mess isn't that bad.
No. I'm talking about
it's only 12 episodes.
Right. I'm talking about all the 50 episode stuff. I'm talking about like Zeta, Double Zeta, Original Gundam, Victory,
Okay.
like, all that kind of long form.
Yeah, all that stuff I don't watch.
But I have been told many times that I should watch 8MS because that would be like the most relevant to me.
Dude, 8th the Mess is really good. Yeah. And Jeff was talking about the EZ8 recently.
Stardust. I would watch that too.
I watched Narrative, dude, and I wanted to kill myself. So I was like, what the fuck is this?
Unicorn. Watch Unicorn if you like.
No, you need to watch G Gundam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
At least it's comically funny. Like
It's good.
Is that the
Loaded.
movie?
the blatant
live
racism
action?
makes
Yeah, I was
it
gonna say.
a lot more palatable.
loaded with racism, bursting at the seams with racism.
Yeah. No, but G Gundam is that the live action one or is that?
No,
No,
that's G
G
Savior. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
G Gundam is like the
fighting
the,
one.
the tequila Gundam that represents Mexico, and
Yeah, the Holland Gundam is a fucking, or the Danish Gundam from Holland or whatever is a windmill.
Yes,
Um,
that's right. That's right.
Like
Double O and Unicorn, and I wanted to kill myself. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like even there, like even Hathaway's Flash. I saw that, and I was like,
I
really,
don't mind Hathaway. It's
I
good
like that.
animation. It's,
Well, that
a,
felt
it's a
like-
bit of a slow burn, but
yeah, exactly. I was like, they should have been more, or I'm like just waiting for more to come out. I guess I don't know because it just kind of ended.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 movies. Like,
Okay.
and they were the original plan was they were supposed to be much closer together, and then
COVID.
COVID kind of screwed them. So
Okay.
I think they were supposed to be like 1 year after another originally.
Yeah, and if you ever watch Unicorn, don't watch the TV version. Watch it as the original like OVA release.
The movie. The only thing good about the TV version is the music. Like the
yeah, the
you
music
get
is
to hear
actually pretty dope.
the intro song 20 whatever it is 23
You mean
times.
like on
How long was
Toonami and
Unicorn?
stuff? Like don't watch it on Toonami.
It is a lot, yeah.
Like it was originally released as it's what 8 episode OVA. It's
Yeah,
8 1 hour episodes.
I believe. Yeah, they vary in length, but like it's re-edited for the TV version, and
but you
like,
don't get all the Gundam info ads. Gundam info.
yeah, can't agree with the re-editing.
And you get to hear what's his name? Hiroyuki's music every time. So
I mean, the music is dope. That's one
It
of the
is.
best parts of the series for sure.
it is.
Yeah.
All right. I'll put it on my list to watch the TV version.
Mm.
No, don't watch the TV version, right? Yeah.
Yeah, watch the original, the OVA
Watch-
version,
yeah.
the,
Yeah, don't watch the
the
episode.
movie versions.
And
Though
then
I have
watch
sat through it. Yes.
and then watch Tournay.
Tournay is good. But even that one's it takes a little while for it to like
Well, yeah,
Really
it's like a
good, though.
slice of life Gundam anime.
you know what?
Yeah, that's
See, what you really need to do, skip all of this. You just need to watch Seed Destiny. It's by far the most compelling.
you know what? But of all the Gundams, like Seed designs are probably still some of my favorites.
Yeah,
If
you like
you're
the
a
ashtray.
pissy anime kid at heart, then you'll really like Seed.
Like, what does that mean? Like, what is what is a pissy anime kid?
Or I'm sorry, a pissy emo kid at heart.
yeah.
You'll like Seed.
Okay.
If you have a lot of angst to you, you'll like Seed.
Yeah, that's
You'll
so
identify.
Pabs. No, Pabs says he's only in this for YouTube views and the money, which we all saw Pabs from day one. So
Yeah.
yeah, like we know that.
I saw that expose on Instagram about exposing Chris Pabs as a scammer.
That's right. Yeah, give us our awards, all right, and give us our fucking refunds back.
What?
Oh,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Like Pab's a new shit. Oh, we're not talking about Pabs.
Guilty by association, whatever. He's on Instagram, so he's
That's
just as
true.
bad.
he's part of the community. It's all evil.
Exactly.
It's just like it's
Actually,
like the gaming
Pabs
community.
was obviously the mastermind behind all of it.
Everyone that's on Instagram is culpable.
Mm.
Yep, it's you're all part of the one big community of, and just like
Toxic.
gamers, man. You know, it's so toxic.
Yeah.
Gamers.
Gamer.
Yeah. Look at Paul. He's like, I'm ready. He's gonna go do some gaming right after this. He's
That's
ready.
right. Yep.
Got the glowing microphone, the orange backdrop.
It's red.
Oh,
It could be whatever color you want. You want it to be purple?
Oh,
For some reason, in my mind, Paul is played by Danny McBride. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Game sword.
yeah, Paul's played by Danny McBride. Jeff is played by the guy who played Channing Tatum, because you know, my name's Jeff.
Channing Tatum. I was thinking
That's
Wilford
Jeff.
Brimley.
I was thinking Wilford Brimley as well, but I didn't want to say it. Oh my god, Jeff, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh my god.
Bro Builder
played
would
by-
be the McLovin. McLovin is totally you, Brian.
I am definitely played by the love child of Adrian Brody and what's his name's character? Matthew McConaughey's character from True Detective. The
yeah,
really,
what-
really skinny, drunk.
Yeah,
like,
what was his
fucking-
name?
Yeah,
Dude, you
Yeah, I
could
can't
totally pull
remember.
that off.
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Zach
that
is
guy looks
played
like he
by-
could be in my family.
Dude, definitely.
Yeah.
But you've got a McConaughey look to you though, so
I
Right,
at a certain
alright.
angle, at a certain light, with a certain amount of bourbon, I can resemble the man.
yeah. Sasha Michael is gonna be playing Zach.
Who?
Sasha, right? What's his last name? The guy Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Sasha
Michael Cera?
Michael
Cera?
I had one part of that name right.
What?
Somebody told me today that I look like Peyton Manning. I'm like, oh, I know who.
I mean,
I know the
can
name.
see it. I can kind of see it.
That does
Not gonna lie.
it is kind of there, dude. Yeah.
Paul busted out laughing because he's not wrong.
That's a good one.
Yeah, a little bit. Not a
I
bad
don't
thing.
know. I don't know what he looks like. I was like, yeah, I know the name because like he's a famous
Let me,
person, but I have no idea what he looks like. And she was like,
Let me know
oh,
if
he
you need
looks
to
like
share
you.
screen,
Like,
Paul.
all right.
A little bit.
Like you guys could definitely be
No,
cousins
Julio.
or something.
Yeah, I could totally see that. But Julio, no, Danny DeVito would play me for sure. And
But
Nick
Julio.
Nick Nolte is gonna be playing Julio. I do like that. It's fucking crazy.
I see Gary Busey.
Or
Gary Busey too. Yeah, Utah. Give me two.
what's his name? The wrestler?
The Rock.
No. Not in. He was in the movie The Wrestler.
Cena.
Oh,
John Cena?
oh, yeah.
No.
He's a
What's
wrestler.
his-
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no. What's his name? The guy. Yeah.
Brian, put me on a.
You got it, buddy. Un momento.
What is his name now? Yeah, dude. That's the first picture. Dude, the
Kinda.
first picture. That's yeah. I can see that.
No.
Kinda.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought
Like,
you were.
look, the
Peyton
Paul.
Manning, right?
Go two pictures
Yeah.
lower. Go two pictures lower, Paul.
This
That
one?
one, dude. That's I can totally see Zach making that face.
Making that face. Kinda. Zach has a smaller forehead.
And the nose is a little for Peyton's got a
Yeah.
bigger nose for sure, but
He's kind of doing it right now. That's perfect, Zach. Hold on.
oh.
I thought you were looking at the wrester. I was like, no, that's not
Mickey
it.
Rourke.
Oh wait,
But-
sure.
Mickey
Mickey
Rourke. That's what it is. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Like I said,
Um,
I don't. You guys don't. You could be relatives of something. He could be like your creepy uncle Peyton.
Yeah.
Peyton Aurelius.
Peyton.
He's the uncle that I argue with at Thanksgiving time every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with his extreme right wing views.
Mm. So why do you assume that I'm not the one with the extreme right wing views?
Yeah.
Right.
Potentially,
Seem
I
pretty
suppose.
mellow.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem.
Seem pretty level headed to me.
I'm an InfoWars subscriber. What are you talking about?
I don't know how to live in that.
That's the creepy uncle that thinks Fox News is left wing.
Mm. They've gone woke.
They have.
Mm.
Watch
Yeah.
out.
They have turned on Trump.
Ever since Tucker Carlson left, it's just all downhill.
Did you guys watch the debate last night?
I did.
I
Exciting
tried to. I
was
couldn't
So boring.
It
do
was
it.
it's embarrassing.
The commentary after was hilarious. Like there were so many people who were like I watched a lot of Patrick Bet David, and he was on something, and they were just talking about it, and I was like, I totally agree. Like that was 2 hours of my life that I want to get back. It's such a shit show. And and especially compared to the first one. Like if you watch the first one, like the Vivek guy, where in the first one he was attacking everybody, and in this one he was just like, "We're all friends. We can all get along. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's not attack each other." I was like, "What the fuck happened, dude? Either you stick to your guns, or
Yeah.
you don't."
Well, now his best chance is to be a vice. So he's like, let me buddy up to somebody here.
They
Yeah.
even asked him that afterwards. They asked him, they're like, "Would you be the vice?" He's like, "I think I'd be a great leader and, commander in chief." He's like, "No, answer the question."
Dude, that's not happening.
Uh,
No, yeah, like you could tell that a lot of the other candidates like got notes like you need to go after this guy this time.
they did. They
Because
all did.
he made you all look stupid last time, so you could tell like they were all going after him, especially like Tim Scott. Tim Scott was like played by a cyborg acting as Tim Scott out there in this debate, because like every chance he got to speak, he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna attack someone," or give like this like canned speech that's like super awkward and like nobody's into.
Yeah, and
Politicians.
yeah, and Pence literally had no business being there.
Yeah, no,
Like, whatsoever. Yes, that's me. I gotta shut off my Slack tabs. It's like going off in like 3 different places.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I'm so effing close, guys. This is gonna be great.
How do I? Is there a way to mute my Slack?
I don't. I muted my Slack once when I had an old, like channel or an old network that I was part of. But I like got off of their Patreon and it stopped being part of the thing, so I deleted Slack. But when I reloaded Slack, they never kicked me off of their network for not being part of the Patreon. So like that shit has all just been on there, and all my settings are still on there. So like everything is still muted. I don't know how to unmute it. I can't get notifications from it, and even when I go and check it, sometimes it doesn't tell me if things have happened. So
Yeah, dude, it's not a. I don't know why people love using this thing.
it works. It's just a like business Discord,
Yeah, which is why Pabs has PTSD, and I agree. It's like, ugh.
Word.
The sad part is I don't even have work, so I shouldn't really be on Slack.
Got all these Slacks pinging.
Yeah,
you got hobbies though.
it's for that nonprofit that I volunteer with. They've got a big thing going on Saturday, and they're planning. And one of the kids who doesn't know anything about audio video stuff has been just like every 20 minutes, like, "Hey, what do you need, bro? Hey, I was thinking like this many angles. Hey, like what equipment?" I was like, "Dude, like I'm the one who's gonna be doing all the work, and I'm not worried about it. Why are you worried about it? Like, you're the office admin." So it's just like, and I mean, he's a nice kid, he just wants people to kind of accept him and see that he's doing hard work and doing good work. But this is one of those situations where I just keep telling him, like, "Dude, just stay in your effing lane, man. Like, if you want to learn this stuff and how to like do productions and film and stuff, then you can quit what you're doing in the office otherwise and come be my intern." Then I would value your input because you'd be learning something. But if you can't tell me the difference between, aperture and shutter speed and what a good ISO is, and I know you saw it on YouTube and look cool, but stop. So, but he's like, "Bro, we really need to make this thing look like it's just out of this world good." Like, I'm like, "Give me an example." I'm like, "I guarantee you're like a typical client." And he was like, "Yeah, like, like a TED Talk or like a WDCC kind of a thing where like," I was like, "I figured like we're a 20-person nonprofit with one guy who's me comes in to volunteer to help you guys with your production work. And what you want the world to see is like a 40-man production crew with multiple high-end cameras and, audio rigs and everything else." And he's like, "Well, so we can't." And I was like, "No, man. No, we can't." And I'm like, "When was the last time you gave a shit about what it looked like when you heard a TED Talk or when Apple was announcing a new product? Did you really care what Tim Cook was saying or what he looked like on the camera, or did you care about the next fucking iPhone? You know?
You mean Tim Apple?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tim Apple. Tim Apple.
Tim.
I had a recent development that's totally unrelated to anything you've just been talking about. My spray booth LEDs started to go out. So 3 of them are an irregular, anomalous strobe.
That's annoying.
When the lights are on, it's just like flash, 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 flash. The rest of the lights are on, so it's fairly well lit, but there's just this like, and it doesn't have any rhyme or reason because they're fucking dying. And you can't buy them anywhere anymore. I tried to order them on Amazon, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well you can pay $9 and we'll ship them to you in like a week." And I was like, "All right, fine, I'll fork out the $9 just so that I don't have to deal with this techno strobe drive me crazy and give me epilepsy in my spray booth." And then they emailed me this morning and were like, "Oh yeah, we don't have them in the Canada warehouse, so we're gonna ship them to you from China, and they'll be there in like 40 days." It's like, what the fuck? Cancel if I can, but
Yeah. Just run over to your local Radio Shack and pick up a few.
they don't have those anymore.
I was going to say, does it still exist?
A Hobby
If they
Town,
do, they sell phones.
yeah.
They don't sell,
I think
they don't
Hobby
sell-
Town still carries some Radio Shack products.
Right. Oh, they do. You're right.
I think so.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Huh.
I may end up finally building my own spray booth.
Yeah, like an industrial spray booth.
You just go get some like strip light LEDs, if anything.
Yeah,
Cut
It
them
can't be industrial. We'll have good suction, but it will be tailored for the space, which will be better. Because right now I'm dealing with this plastic jobby, you know.
but will you be able to set it from suck to blow?
I hope not. Just like fill the room full of paint dust. Worst.
Oops.
What up? Just the wrong toggle switch. Like, oh man.
Really, everything in the room ruined.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Eileen's like, we got all these books. These are like all like the historical war books and stuff are all right here.
Right.
She's got all her
See, like everyone else's mind when someone says suck, if they're childish, goes to like something perverted. My mind goes to Spaceballs.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
You're right.
of course. It's Mega Maid.
Mega Man. Which is hilarious. Like, so on my LinkedIn profile the other day, like it's been, September, like I think 12th was like my 12-month anniversary of being laid off.
Oh shit.
And not finding work still. So on my
Right.
LinkedIn, I literally posted that scene from Spaceballs where they're like, "Hey, you guys, you find anything yet? We ain't found shit."
Mhm.
Yeah, we ain't found shit.
I was like, this is what it's like looking for a job out here right now. So that got me trending for a little while. Still no job.
Oh
though.
yeah.
I'm sure that turned off a lot of recruiters and
Oh, man.
managers. Like this guy,
Oh,
thinks
maybe.
this guy thinks this is some sort of social media platform where you can fuck around.
They giggled for 10 seconds. Unfollow.
Yeah. Block. Like,
Clearly not.
reports. Block. Like,
That's funny. Block.
Yeah.
this guy gets it. Block. Damn it.
Which, hey, LinkedIn, I guess, is kind of turned into that. So I see more like random stupid shit on there now than I do like actual.
Yeah, I find out about like my old skate buddies that I randomly linked through that shit with before they were even in college. And like I was like, oh, Matt Kaminsky's good. That's right, he's in college now. Sure, I'll join the LinkedIn thing, whatever, with him. And now it's like Kaminsky has gotten these many promotions and is like some fucking like engineer somewhere on the other side of the planet. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, I'm gonna build a
I had to basically neuter my LinkedIn profile because I was getting hit by headhunters like 5
Oh.
times a day.
Oh,
'Cause you're
I want that
valuable.
problem. I want that problem right now.
Yeah,
I do.
sorry.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, short of my line of work, like recruiters and headhunters are like the number 2 that were like axed. So like,
oh
that's so those guys are like in the same position as I am, where they're like, somebody hit me up, I need a job.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you do cybersecurity, right?
Yeah, like I mean, so enable. I mean, it's not just specifically, but that's kind of what it's been for the last 6 years. But I mean, more like enablement of channel go-to-market strategies for manufacturers, and typically they've been software manufacturers that are engaged in some sort of cybersecurity kind of work. So,
Okay.
which doesn't mean shit nowadays because everyone's getting laid off, unless you're like Paul, where you're just like in the gutters and sewers and cleaning up people's shit.
People drink
Paul sits
water
behind
and
a
take
desk.
shits, man. I sit behind a desk.
Hey, you! There's more shit over there. Go clean it up. No, dude. I mean, like that's the craziest part about it, man. Like those, like people who can do stuff with their hands have a trade skill. Are the people who are now the most valuable people, right? Where like 20 years ago, they're like, go to college, get a degree, you'll fucking do something.
I can do nothing with my hands other than sign people's paperwork to tell them what to do with their hands.
What to do, yeah. Well, you always need someone like that, right? You always need someone to be like, hey, you go do this. Yeah, because I mean, most of us guys who do stuff with our hands, like we really don't want to do shit until we're told to do it.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, no, Miguel, you're right. LinkedIn is super cringe right now, man. Like it reminds me of the old Facebook days when people would like send you that stupid like those good morning pictures on their profiles, like great day, like, inspirational quotes and shit. Like, fuck out of here, dude.
My dad sends me one of those every day. My biological father sends me one of those every day.
It's definitely
I don't know if that's actually him or if his account is just hacked. Because I go to check his account. Right, and I go to check because I just go to check his account and like the actual page, and it's just a bunch of like cash scams from that MAGA hip hop guy with the really weird beard. He has like the really weird like trimmed beard. You know that dude? He like wrote the dumb song. I can't remember his name. Not the like anti-capitalist guy. The other guy.
Not Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Who's a mega hip hop guy?
He's
like some white rapper, like or from Florida, I think, isn't he?
I know what you're talking
Vanilla
about.
Ice?
Never heard of one.
No.
I mean, Vanilla Ice is a rapper from Florida.
Paul's like, if the farther north you go, the easier they are to find. In fact,
right.
Anyways, he was around. He was on the news, so it's fine if you don't know him. I'm not really.
Eminem.
No.
Tom McDonald.
Ronald McDonald.
Think so. I think the Tom McDonald guy was the guy that was the anti-fudge rounds guy, and the and singing about the corporate guys are doing it all bad, and I'm just trying to pet my dog and drive a truck. Whatever the hell it is he was singing about. I don't even know I can't even find. For some reason, I put my phone down. I don't know where it is.
I gotta find out who this rapper is now. Did you mean to say Did you actually mean to say MAGA? Like MAGA?
Yes.
Like Make America Great Again rapper?
Yes.
Huh.
Stitches.
Let me just go check the old man's shit real quick. I'll pull up a picture. Give me 1 sec.
Hey, while Brian's doing that, I want to ask you guys a question. Since we were talking about Spaceballs, I was thinking, like, you know how they have different paths for like how you're supposed to watch the order of the Star Wars movies. If you're supposed to like watch them in like number order or like release order or whatever, where would you put Spaceballs in the order of watching Star Wars?
Ooh,
what do you think? I think it's got to be just right after original trilogy, right? I mean,
probably.
There's no reason to like watch all the Star Wars movies first before you watch Spaceballs.
Yeah, I would say watch original Star Wars, watch Spaceballs, and then just skip the rest.
Tyson James.
Maybe. Weird guy's got like face tattoos and like a terrible beard. Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah, yep, Tyson James. That's who it is.
So I went back and checked the old man's account, and I'm not going to show it because I'm not going to show like any of his stuff. But as you can see, these are all the this content has been deleted. This content has been deleted. This content has been deleted
Oh yeah.
off of his thing because he was just like reposting the weirdest stuff. But anyways, he does send me the daily affirmations. Sometimes they're good, and they're like, oh, I'm like, oh, that's a sweet one. Other ones, it's just like, the Lord Jesus had come down from the heavens, and I'm just like, man, come on.
You're like, Skip.
You've known me for 44. Well, no, you've known of me for 44 years. Like, give me a break, man.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't know, man. I mean, that's Spaceball. I think I'm with Paul. Like, you watch one and then you watch Spaceballs, and
And then to skip the rest of the movies.
Oh wait, I missed it. What was the question? I was busy being family.
Where would you place Spaceballs in the order of like how you would recommend someone to watch Star Wars movies?
Oh, great. Well,
I would say you can't watch it. You can't like watch just like episode 4 and then Spaceballs and then like continue on with the series. I think you would have to do like the whole first trilogy, because then like watching that is just gonna like make then watching Empire next is gonna be like really weird, like transition.
yeah.
For Spaceballs.
That's a
to
really bad tone change.
Yeah, because
I
he
think
doesn't
you'd have to watch the original trilogy, because Spaceballs came out after the original trilogy was finished.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
my
got,
main
like,
issue
Yoda
is gonna
stuff.
be- yeah, yogurt. Because yogurt,
Yeah,
Yoda.
yogurt.
Yeah, because yogurt, Yoda doesn't come in until Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, definitely.
yeah, I guess so. Okay.
yeah, I know the guy that made him. Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay, so then Miguel asks a good follow-up question. Then where do you put like the Family Guy, Star Wars parodies, and Robot Chicken ones?
After the prequels.
Blue Harvest. Yeah. After the prequels, there you go.
It's funny now how like the prequels are looked at so much differently than they were when they first came out. Like,
Yeah, I never really got the hate for the prequels. I mean, like there's aspects of the prequels that like are. I mean, they're clearly not as good, but
Yeah.
I was
the
never against
third
it.
one, I think, like it had. I don't even want to say the acting, but like some of the lines were just a little cringy. Like they were just
it's
kind of
got, like-
flat. Like,
Mhm.
particularly like I said, the third one, and then Jar Jar in the first was a little like,
Yeah,
what is this guy doing?
And
even-
racism.
Nice.
Even light
Sweet.
racism.
Yeah.
not
No,
only
I see-
Jar Jar, but the trade.
All the Gungans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the
The-
Gungans, the
Clear
Viceroys or
Trade
whatever.
Federation. Yeah,
Oh yeah, the trade. Yes.
super
yes.
Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Asian and reclusionary.
Mm.
right? That was
I guess
hilarious.
it's like kind of like revisionist history now that you watch like the newest 3 and you're like, man, these really do suck. I guess the prequels weren't that bad.
No, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I was like Zach. Like when I went to, so I was in the Marine Station down in Pendleton when those movies first started coming out, and yeah, I just watched it because I was like, oh man, Star Wars movies like in my time, right? Like because back when the other ones came out, I was so little or not born. So it was cool. Like I was like, and then that was like my first kind of big, like Natalie Portman kind of like, I was like, all right, she's hot, like Princess Amidala, come on. So yeah, I mean, like there was no hate, and then I got into like people like Star Wars, and people were like, they sucked, and I'm like, I don't know, they're still fun for me.
Yeah, they're fun. It's like fun to put on. Like when I'm doing this, like they're good movies to just like have on the background.
Yep. I mean, I remember like episode 1 came out. I was relatively young, but when Darth Maul busted out the double-ended lightsaber, I was like,
right?
Shit.
You get that music. You get that
Yeah.
Duel of Fates.
Duel of Fates, man. Like I'm pretty sure I have some VHS tapes with me and my Marine buddies having all those toy lightsabers and fucking around on the base. Just like after we watched Darth Maul do his thing, right? It's like hilarious. Oh yeah,
Y'all are playing with live ordnance.
Well, we did that, on the company time. This was like usually during like Thursday night, like field days and stuff. Like once we were done cleaning, oh, we had some epic like lightsaber battles. Like we would literally beat the living shit out of each other with them, and then go out and get new ones on Sunday, and do it again the next week. Like you would just get welted, like this, like kind of like going paintballing. We just like that was fun, and now it hurt.
Yeah, soundtrack was great for the
Fantastic.
prequels. Yeah, they weren't
Yeah.
not at all. It's funny, like Hayden Christensen, especially. Have you seen now where like he does events and people are cheering him? Like the poor guy was like crying the first time. He was like,
No, yeah, like
you fucking hated me for 20 years.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and same thing with the Spider-Man, right? Like that. What's his name?
Toby?
Not Toby,
Toby?
but the other one,
Oh, Andrew Garfield.
Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield. Like everyone was like,
Yeah.
these fucking. I was like, they didn't suck. I thought
They were
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
I
enjoyed
actually made stuff for those movies, so I have a special place for them in my heart. There's some
Look,
of
I
my work is in
remember
those
people
films.
bitching about the shoes of the costume. Why does it look like sneakers? Like fuck this guy, fuck this guy. I was like, can't you guys just enjoy this shit for what it is? I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man movie, dude.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, it's got to be the shoes.
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah, and then and
Ugh.
like back to Star Wars, like that prequel kind of led to where we are now, like Clone Wars and Rebels and Ahsoka now, and then like if you watch, it was I think either Clone Wars or Rebels where Darth Maul and Obi-Wan finally fucking have their final duel, and you were waiting for it. You were just there. It is, right? Like 20 years later. Same thing with Christian Hayden and Obi-Wan fighting, and even though Obi-Wan sucked, kind of, but that fight itself, was pretty badass, right?
In 3?
And all that. No, in the show.
No, in the show.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah, I haven't watched it. So.
Like
I
just
watched
watch,
Kenobi.
just watch that fight, and you're just like, yeah, that's what I was.
I should give. I'll watch the whole. I just need to. The cold season's coming upon us. I'll be.
Yeah, there you go.
Inside.
It got a bit Dragon Ball Z with their fight between the two of them. But I mean, it was good. Yeah, I recently watched episode. Would it be 8 for the first time since seeing it like just at the theater when it came out?
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, there's some bad choices in making that movie. Jeez.
Which one is 8? Is that like
That's
the 3 series? The last series of 3 now?
where Luke disappears at the end. That's what Rise of Skywalker, right? I think that's
Yeah,
right.
Okay,
so it's the second movie of the newest trilogy.
The sequels.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's really where it went off the rails. Because when I saw the first one, I was like, okay,
Yeah, it was
this could go
fine,
somewhere.
yeah.
This could go somewhere. And then the second one, I was like, what just fucking happened? What did I just watch?
Yeah.
Like,
It was,
where are they? I don't even know what the hell just like they just jumped from like planet to planet.
There's so much
space
cringe.
travel.
Yeah, but I mean, like they didn't even
Just
like
wait until you play-
explain like what just happened.
Just wait until you play Starfield, baby.
Yeah. But I mean, that is such a what's his name thing to do. Like even in Transformers, he did that. Like, oh, we're in Chicago and now we're in New York and hey, we're in LA, and you're like, did time pass or like,
Dude, seriously.
warp? Like, what happened here? Oh, you know what would go good with LA? Middle East. Boom, we're in Jordan.
Right?
Fucking weird.
Which actually, like, that kind of reminded me, like, because I was thinking, there's an article or there's a video that someone put out there that Michael Bay isn't, like, you know how we're talking about Star Wars, like that prequel, like the Asians and like George, like there were so many racist kind of tropes in these movies, but Michael Bay just does them on purpose. Like every one of his, any side character extra is like a total racist fucking. It's like dumb shit, right? Like the guy in the call center in the first Transformers, Indian dude picking his nose, just right. And then when they're in like the Middle East, it's a midget general in Egypt, like which that dude ended up being a total psychopath. I ended up killing his whole family, I think. But like somebody was making this video with him, like, dude, Michael Bay isn't really as racist and dumb as you people think. He's just ahead of his. He's actually calling out society for how it really is in his fucking movies. And I was like, I've never thought about it, but that's a good argument. Like he's like basically kind of, it's like a mirror. Like he's just showing you like what you people are fucking actually thinking most of the time. I'm just putting it on screen for you to fucking see it.
Interesting.
You
Was
know?
the second Star Wars one where they're like running away, like Leia's running away in the ship?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they can't quite catch her. But
Yeah.
I was like, this is the dumbest plot point
And
I've ever.
And they take that like side quest to go to that casino planet with a giant horse race.
Yeah. It
It's
doesn't
so
seem
dumb.
like that one, which is strange because you already knew it was going to be a trilogy, right?
Mm.
Like the original series, I don't think he quite knew that like Star Wars itself was going to be successful.
Right.
But you knew that was going to be a trilogy, and yet it seems like they wrote the movies individually.
Yeah, totally.
for sure.
Like it didn't have like an arc across, like especially when you look at like Finn. Like it just seemed like they wrote him in the first one, and they were like, "Well, fuck, what are we gonna do now?"
No, they totally did, right? Jeff, they just did them like one at a time. Like, oh, we had the first one. All right, let's work on the next one with a new director, and like he's just going to do whatever he wants. And then we'll do the third one with the back to the first director, and he's just going to do whatever he wants. So yeah, they feel totally disjointed.
Strange decision considering, like I said, you knew going in what you were gonna do.
But I will say, still not as bad as the worst movie that I've seen in a long, long time, which was really very disappointing, which was
Tokyo Drift.
Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, yeah.
It was so bad. And I tried rewatching it again recently, and I couldn't even get like halfway through.
Watched it.
The one before that I didn't think was very good either.
No, yeah, it was like, like okay, it's Jurassic Park, like I can still watch it, but no, like this one, like Dominion, I can't even get through the movie. Like it's
yeah, Dominion.
I agree with
rare.
That. Right? It's the last.
Is that the one? Which was Dominion? What was the plot point of that one?
Where like the dinosaurs have now spread through the world.
Yeah, they've
and
taken
it's
over
like
the world.
Their world.
I haven't seen that one.
But the
I watched
majority
one
of the
before
plot,
that.
but the majority of the plot centers around not the dinosaurs, but in fact the giant locusts.
Yeah,
which are eating crops. That's what Jurassic Park is about now.
It's like Rise of the Planet of the Dinosaurs.
You know they've beaten a franchise to death when.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Which were bioengineered.
Speaking of Rise of though, I saw that they're coming out with the new Planet of the Apes movie, so I'm hyped about that.
Another new set?
I hope
or
it's
is it a
Mark
continuation of?
I think it's a continuation of the new
current
series.
Yeah.
Do they have to like try to burn the locusts or something?
They do.
They do.
And they like,
yeah.
and then a bunch of them escape or some shit.
They do. They're on fire and they escape and they're still wreaking
They're
havoc.
trying to like work with some dude to like try and kill him, and he's like, "Oh no, they're good for her." Oh shit! I did watch this terrible movie.
Yeah, and they're trying to get like the original, like Sam, whatever, and the girl.
Yeah.
Doctor, and trying to make them into a couple and shit. And like, all right.
Yes,
yeah,
right. Yeah, Dr. Grant
so-
and
Yeah,
It's so stupid.
it was so dumb. It was so dumb.
You know it's not gonna be good when they bring back everybody.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
first
what do we
movie?
got here? What can we do?
remember these guys?
That was one of the things. Like I watched a lot
welcome
of content like about the movie like before it came out, like production. There's like a YouTube channel that's like all Jurassic Park all the time. So like he was doing a bunch of reporting on it, and like they were saying, I guess before the movie came out, like that they had shot like two movies worth of movie for this, and then they had to like cut it down to what it is. And like, yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where like if they would have split it up into two movies, like a part 1 and part 2, I don't think it would have been any better. It would have been like
wouldn't have
that
been
much longer.
Would have been 2 movies. Like,
2 shit movies instead of 1 shit movie.
Yeah.
just thinking, like, so like Mortal Engines, right? Guillermo del Toro's, which is the same thing where it's long because it's supposed to be like 3 movies, and they should have made it that 3 movies, in my opinion, because some of the stories in that are really good. There's a lot of really cool elements, and it was all really well done, but it was all just like kind of like crammed together. Like, they could have done way more with the cool airship people, and like that's cool because fucking crazy archaic airships are fucking kick ass. Like, I have a whole air pirates movie around it, and like have a whole like one that was just dedicated on like the machine cities that drive around and try to blow each other up and steal each other's goods and shit. Like, that would be a crazy cool movie, but they just kind of tickle it a little bit. And then there's like a whole other one too with like the girl and like the cyborg guy, because that's like really dark and like heartbreaking too, that whole story. That could have been like a really good movie.
I know things like Mortal Engines I'd rather see as like an HBO series.
There you go. It could have been like that, which is the same kind of deal. To give it the same treatment, where you're getting several 45 to an hour long shows about something instead of like try to cram it all into one 2.5 hour movie.
That was the continuation of the Golden Compass, right? That's Mortal Engines.
No.
I don't think so.
Like with the James Bond guy. And the
No,
bear.
it has no. Yeah, it doesn't have Daniel Craig in it. It has
That's the guy from the Matrix,
Agent
right?
Smith. Smith is in it, and
Hugo Weaving.
Yes.
there you go, Hugo Weaving. Thank you. Hugo Weaving and like actually a bunch of almost like kind of no name-ish or medium name-ish actors and actresses.
Daisy Ridley's in that?
I don't remember that.
So.
But it's mostly like people they were trying to break out. Like they, if that movie would have went well, they could have been star actors, but then they're
I watched the
took that
once
movie
again
and
more
their
than a half a
careers were
dozen
fucked
times.
after.
I watched about like half of it on a flight, I think, Brian. Sorry to say.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that is good, but that's the deal. It's like I like spectacular movies and I love special effects, especially when they're really well done. And Weta is known for doing really well done special effects movies. Now, I won't watch an Avatar movie. They can fuck off.
After the first one, I'm done, dude. And I helped set up the second one. Like, I helped sell all the hardware and software to render that fucking movie.
Wow.
This was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, back when they were setting up the town for the work.
They were
it,
like,
right?
hey, we're making a sequel to Avatar. I was like, holy fuck, yeah, it's gonna be cool. And then like I waited and it finally came out. And I was like, I'm not fucking watching this. No.
Cue SpongeBob cutscene.
The good thing about it was
2,000 years
free.
Later.
It was free on Disney Plus, so
Yeah,
it makes it a lot more watchable.
Yeah, my daughter went to go watch it, and only because she was like, well, they showed us the first one and it's cool, so now I'm gonna go watch the second one. I'm like, well, yeah, for you it's relevant because you watched the first one like last week, and now the second one just came out. So
yeah,
it looked great. Like visually, it was amazing looking. But...
That's like exactly what I said to my wife too. We went and saw it at the movie theater, and I was like, it would have been like a lot more enjoyable if I was watching this like 2 years after the first one. But like now it's like way too like long past the first one. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, not at all.
Yep.
And they're doing a third one, which is probably be another couple of years. Like
my daughter will be married and have her own kids, and like, hey, another one came out.
Yeah, it's like a generational thing, kind of like Star Wars, but like instead of trilogies, it's just one single movie every 30 years.
I mean, it was almost like real time because his kids were like teenagers in the second one, and you're like, yeah, that'd be about right.
Yeah, right.
Oh damn. Wow.
Well, I don't know about this new Planet of the Apes, though, but I really do wish they would make like part 2 and 3 of the Mark Wahlberg one. Just because they would be so. It's just Mark Wahlberg, man. Come on.
The 8 prosthetics were so cringy.
They were actually really good for their time, but they were pretty rough. Yeah. Is that Stan Winston as well, or was that I can't remember.
I don't remember.
There's some good actors behind them. I will say, like that movie was well cast, I guess.
Where's my Winston effect?
I don't know. I don't hate it.
But I'm not going to dig out the Winston effect.
It was good. You know, a movie was way ahead of its time, and
what's that?
Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's really, really good actually, and it aged pretty well because of its stylization. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I know you're trying to wrap up, right? So let's do it.
Yeah, we got to kind of wrap this thing up. It's getting a little bit late here. Thank you everybody for joining in the show. It's fantastic conversations tonight and working on some cool models, and had a blast. We'll be back doing this again next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, and hopefully we'll see you guys then as well.
Bye,
great night.
everybody.
Be safe. You can find everybody. I think almost everybody's tagged in the socials. I think
Tag it in.
everybody's in the socials. So is in the show notes. So check it out. Follow us. We'll see you next time. Bye.